All right, so in this video, we're actually going to be interviewing one of my clients. His name is Choke, and within his first few months of being in the mentorship program, he hit his first $14,000 rolling 30-day period. Now, throughout this entire interview, he drops a lot of gems from transitioning from RA to OA to wholesale, from contacting suppliers, approaching them appropriately, how to actually get good pricing on your products. He drops gems throughout this entire interview. So I suggest if you're watching this and you're actually serious about making progress in your business, watch this with pen and paper, take notes of what he talks about, and watch it from beginning to end, and I promise you, you will not regret it.
My name is Choke. I heard about Amazon through just YouTube, through YouTube search. And then from there, I was, doing a lot of rabbit hole, you trying to learn, like consuming a lot of information. From there, I kind of say, okay, maybe I got this thing down. And I started with retail arbitrage, going into the store and trying to find a profitable product. But one thing you'll realize is it's very time consuming. For me, I do have a day job, so it makes it's not ideal for, if I didn't have nothing else going, I could probably continue down that path. But then after you've gone through multiple trips, and then some trips are just, you don't find nothing, right? And then you realize that you spent all these hours scanning something and it didn't lead to anything. So I had that going on. And then I realized, man, like this is not as easy as people make it to seem, because you see all these different sales, where they show how much they made and stuff like that. I'm like, why is mine not working this way, right? I had to reevaluate. I was like, maybe it's something that I'm missing, right? And then it kind of happened that I came across your channel as I was like, YouTubing and searching for maybe the little things that I'm missing. Like, what is it? Then I came across other models, right? Then you have online arbitrage where you're able to like search stores and see what they have rather than you driving around to, local stores. You could actually be at home searching the stores. So as I was watching your videos, you're pretty good at explaining things. And I think one thing that resonated with me was just the fact that I can understand what you're saying, and then the little tidbits that's even in your YouTube videos help a lot, right? And then the relatability, my ability to relate with you in terms of you keeping it real, right? Saying, hey, you have to do the work. A lot of people leave that tidbit of stuff as saying that this is not easy as it seems, right? There's just kind of a level that you have to like get to before it becomes easy. But when something as big as a learning curve is there, you have to actually get over the hump, right? But then in the same thing, you have to be focused. Like, what exactly do you want to do that sends you in a direction to get to the ultimate goal? So I was like, okay, maybe I saw that you was, offering a course or whatever. I said, let me check this course out, right? And I went ahead and bought the course, and I'm just a information like magnet, right? I started consuming the course, trying to implement it as, because you had it sequentially where you had like, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this. And so I started implementing some of those things through the course. And then it kind of happened around, I think it was like Black Friday is when I started making purchases, right? And the good thing is like around Black Friday, discounts. So I made purchases and I sent them in. Around that time, I was doing FBM as well. So I sent them in and I was getting traction. And then as I was getting traction, I was like, okay, it was just kind of like that proof of concept that this works, And then from there, I was like, okay, I see that it's working and I see that I'm making money. But then like, it's just like a light bulb. How do we make it more? Like, how do we continue to accelerate this thing? And then I remember after I finished your course and whatnot, you came up with the wholesale component to it, right? And then I ate that up and I was like, oh, okay, let me reach out to distributors and stuff. And of course, initially I was doing the email blasting and stuff, and I wasn't really getting much traction that way. I started picking up the phones, and then now you get a real turnaround time in terms of like whether they're gonna sell to you or not. Are they going to open an account with you or not, right? So it's kind of like, okay, what you get quick results in terms of, okay, you could make a list of distributors that you want to reach out to, right? And then you get a quick synopsis of like, okay, this one is willing to, this one is, maybe not profitable, but it's a quick turnaround time versus you just sending an email. They're getting thousands of people, but what makes you a little different, right? But if you pick up the phone, you could get that no or that rejection or, a proof of, okay, we're not doing it because X, Y, Z, right? So it made it more relatable in terms of me saying, okay, this is what I need to be doing, right? Calling, researching and sourcing. Those are kind of the things that make your business grow. If you continue to source and continue to find leads, that's ultimately going to help your business, move in the right direction.
You sent me a screenshot, and I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
did.
14,000 for rolling 30
14,000.
days. When you got your first set of sales, were you already in the program, or were you already making sales through retail arbitrage and then you got some traction and then you joined the program?
The second one. So I was making a little bit sales, right?
Okay.
But once I got into the program, it sped up my ability to make more sales, right? Because initially it was more like, okay, I'm doing the retail scanning or whatnot, but then it's like, okay, I made sales, but it's not really escalating. It's not really moving at the velocity that requires you to say, okay, I've gotten to the next level. And so
Yeah.
by that your program allowed me to be able to jump to the next level, to figure out what do I need to be focusing on. Because obviously, yes, if you don't have the capital, yes, you could go and scan items and then there'll be attraction, but it'll take longer. But for me personally, as far as somebody that has a 9 to 5, it makes it a little easier to where I know what I come with and what works for me, right? And retail arbitrage wasn't something that was ideal for my lifestyle. So that's why I say, okay, I need to pivot into something that's more conducive to my lifestyle and that is going to be able to cater to what I already have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole purpose of the program and mentorship and all of that, because like a lot of people say like everything's free on YouTube. You can just go on there and just consume, consume, consume.
Mhm.
But the purpose of a program or getting a mentor like the program that we have is that exactly like you said, it's going to take you from going, 10 miles an hour to going 100 miles an hour significantly faster because everything is in one place. With YouTube,
Mhm.
YouTube is great, bunch of free information, but they're little pieces all scattered around, and you have to try to hopefully, put all the puzzle pieces together and hope that it's going to work out. But it is going to take you much longer than somebody who has a clear blueprint. Like you said in the beginning, it's like the program's laid out. Do this, then this, then this, then this. And it's like it's all laid out for you. You just have to follow the blueprint and then obviously do the
Mhm.
work. Because like you said, like a lot of people will glaze over that. Like they'll say they almost like comes off as like this is really easy to do. And it takes a lot of work. I've never once in my videos ever said that it was easy because I know it requires work. But what I
Mhm.
say it's very simple. And it is. Like I've tried so many businesses and it's like this is as simple as it gets, but it
Mhm.
still requires work. And I think some people like misconstrue that like simplicity with, oh, this is easy. I can make money tomorrow. And it's like, no, no, you can't. You can make good money, but you ain't gonna
Mhm.
make it tomorrow.
Correct. The concept is pretty easy, right? It's very easy to understand. But what people don't really grasp fully is the amount of time commitment that you have to do up front, right? Whether it is
Correct.
just calling distributors and getting a lot of no's, right? But once the thing about it is once you get traction, right, and you continue and you're consistent, that traction, it exponentiates, to where you couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Like it's a lot of front loaded work.
Mhm.
And a lot of people just need to get past that first initial front loaded work and things do get much much easier over time. But most people they hit those first couple roadblocks and those rejections and that front loaded work is almost too much for them and then they quit maybe because they're not strong enough mentally or whatever it may be. But once you get past that it's like dude it gets significantly easier. The hardest part, I think, is just a couple things. I think it's one, proving the concept. You just need to
Mhm.
get your first sale to even prove to yourself that this is real. Because if you can't even get your first sale, it's like, and you're not getting any wins throughout the process, you're going to start convincing yourself that this doesn't work. Right. And then the second piece is get to your first 10K. That's why I always tell you guys just get to your first 10K. And it's like
Mhm.
those are the first two big milestones. And then at 10K, that's when people really start to kind of expand their vision for their business. Almost like, yeah, I can actually really, really do this. Like I can actually create something here.
And I agree, because that initial proof of concept, right? That idea that, hey, this is not just a gimmick, right? Once you get that proof of concept, then it just turns a light bulb in your head. It's like, okay, this actually worked, right? Now the next question is, okay, if it's working, how do I make it work better? Right. Whether it's, it could be phrased as how do I scale it? So then, once you like you mentioned, that 10K mark is that next hurdle to get to say, okay, I'm doing 10K. So what next, right? Now I need to, in quote unquote, get more ASINs in which will allow me to, funnel out and be able to expand more and be able to make more sales. But, like you mentioned, it is the front load work that people, have to do. Is a necessary evil in a sense, right? That you have to do it. But ultimately, if you're willing to stay consistent and go after it, you'll get there.
What do you think was your biggest challenge before you joined the program?
I think I was everywhere, right? Because you get into the YouTube University where you're reaching, this person is saying this way, and then they're showing how productive they are, and then this person is showing this way, and they're showing how profitable they are, and you're like, okay, let me try that, let me try that, but then you're not really focused, right? So for me, it's like once I got through the program, I was like, okay, now I know what I need to be doing, right? Ultimately, simple. You need to be calling distributors, not sending. I mean, emails work, but calling is what really sets you apart. Because everybody that's lazy per se, or that want the easy way out, is going to be doing the email route. But if you're doing a concept where you're trying to build relationship is a vocal. It is a communicative. You're not going to be building relationship over email.
Right.
If anything, they want to hear your voice. They want to see how serious you are. They want to see a sense of urgency in your voice to say, "Oh, this person is really, ready to do business. They're genuine about what they're about. They don't. Nobody wants their time to be wasted, right?" And a lot of distributors, that's one of their pet peeves. That if you're not serious yet, they have other things to be doing versus you trying to decide, oh, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? Do you even have the money ready? Because you should have already done your research on the front end, or I guess at the beginning, before you even reach out to them. That's how you make the relationship flow better. Because when you're coming into the conversation saying, hey, I want to buy XYZ, this is the product that I'm looking for, and do you have this product? And then now we could talk, right? Because now the dialogue is how much can I get it for you, or how much of a discount can you give me, or how much can I purchase it for, versus saying, oh, do you have a list, a price list for me to look through, right? You should have already gotten an idea of what type of product that they're carrying. And then if you've already done the back end work, then you're coming to them and say, hey, this is the product that I'm looking for. These are the kind of prices I'm trying to buy it at. And then let's see if we could work together to come to a common ground to get that accomplished. They'll they'll value that type of relationship versus, hey, can you send me a price list?
Yeah, correct. Those are massive, massive tips. So for everybody who's going to be watching this video, pay attention to what he just said. But I want to go back to you being scattered everywhere. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a big problem that people face, and I commend you for being able to be self-aware enough to be like, I'm doing this, but I'm getting pulled in all of these different directions, and then course correcting yourself and being able to like, all right, once you made that decision, hey, I can't do arbitrage. I physically cannot go do it because
Mm-hmm.
of work. I need to pursue this. Like I need to pursue wholesale. I can't be emailing because it's not being fruitful enough. I need to
Mm-hmm.
call. And it's like, those are traits that usually when I see that in somebody that I'm working with, usually it's just going to be like, they're going to go to the top because the ability to just have singular focus is so rare, especially now with, TikTok and YouTube University. They're getting pulled in so many different directions. Like that's massive. Like just singular focus is so important, especially in this business. It's like if you're going everywhere, it's like I forgot what the saying. It's like you're going a mile wide and an inch deep, right? And it's like no, we
Mm-hmm.
need to go really deep into one purposeful thing that's going to be very, very fruitful for our business. And that's when businesses really grow. How far along do you think you would have been if you would have stuck with the YouTube University route? You would have never joined the program. How much harder do you think the process would have been?
I think it would have been more. I would have at least been growing slowly, right? Because the work ethic is there, but
Mhm.
as far as being able to explode, right, is the information that you need to be able to concentrate on what's most important. So if you have somebody that's done it, and then they know what thing, all the trials and tribulation that they've been through, they could bestow that information on you, and then you're able to travel at a higher speed. You're able to get to a destination, faster. So, ultimately the course allowed me to be able to say, okay, based on his experience as he's done this, right? He's able to bestow that knowledge and know what doesn't work, right? You trying to be this way, that way, and trying to say, oh, let me try everything doesn't work. But if you simplify everything, keep it focused, keep it tunnel focused, and then work on this and this and this. That's not going to propel you. But if you're able to just tease out the noise and say, how can I maximize my energy into what is the most fruitful action, right? Then you're going to be able to move forward at a higher velocity than versus trying to be spread out on multiple things.
Was there like a specific moment where everything just kind of clicked for you and things just really started to pick up? Because I'm assuming it wasn't just like a straight shot, like, yeah, I went to arbitrage, but then once I went to wholesale, it kind of just took off right away. Like, was there a moment where things just kind of clicked after some possible struggles, or was it pretty straightforward with you?
No, I don't think it was straightforward. It was when I first found one item that had a high sales velocity. Because it's really once you find that one item that like one, because it is I focused on wholesale, right? And then the wholesale is
Mhm.
what pushed my sales velocity higher, right? And to simplify it, that one item is what pushed my sales velocity higher. So now I had the concept that, hey, wholesale, if you get a good ASIN, right, and then you're able to multiply those ASINs by 10 or by 20, then your sales velocity is going to, propel higher. So now, as far as where I'm at right now, I'm looking for an item that's similar to what I already have, right? A ASIN that's similar to what I already have, because now I know that this works. Now we're asking the question, how can we add to this that's already working?
What do you think is like one of like the biggest like common mistakes that people make when they're getting into wholesale? Because you seem to be able to make it work pretty quickly, but there's some people that really, really struggle.
I think they don't do enough background work. So you should know your numbers before, for example, I do storefront stalking. That's one of my favorite tactics to do. So it's already showing me that this person has already done the front back end work, right? And then they're getting this product profitable somewhere else. So now if I know that concept that they're getting it profitable from somebody else, the question is, how do I get connected to that person that they're getting it profitable to?
Yeah.
And then if I could find that person that they're getting it profitable from, then I should have already ran my numbers. That way, when I'm talking to this person, I want them to come closer to where my number is. That way, it's profitable for me. Is essentially taking a concept and working backwards to get to a destination. So when you're doing wholesale, you have to be thinking, okay, I know this person that's done the front end work in terms of finding the product, right? They're selling it. I see that they've been on this ASIN for a long time, so it must be profitable. It's not something that they just started a week ago. It's been profitable at least 12 months, 18 months, sometimes 4 years, right? So then that means it's replenishable. So the thing that I need to do is figure out a way to be able to get that product.
Yeah, those are some massive gems. If somebody is watching this and they're on the fence about joining,
Yeah, I would definitely recommend the program. It was beneficial for me because it sped a lot of things up, right? You could easily, of course, you could do it slowly but surely. Or if you want to get to a destination faster, follow somebody that's already done it. That's ultimately what it boils down to. A lot of times you have to invest in whatever you're trying to get to, in order to eliminate a lot of the headaches that comes with noise, right? Because the mistake that the person has made, the reason you pay that person is to try to eliminate some of those mistakes that you could easily fall into, or some of those traps that you could easily fall into. By grabbing onto somebody that's already done something, it helps you to eliminate a lot of those mistakes, and it helps spearhead your velocity and your acceleration so that you can get to a destination faster.
now, if you want to be a part of the one-on-one mentorship program that I do offer that's helping my clients go from zero to their first 10K per month in record time, you're going to want to click that first link in the description. It's going to give you all of the details that you need to know. But keep in mind, guys, this is true one-on-one coaching. I am helping you personally, no VAs, nothing like that. I'm not throwing you into a group and you're hoping for the best. I'm not telling you to show up to busy Zoom calls and hoping that your question gets answered. This is true one-on-one mentorship, and that's why my clients get results just like all of these that I'm flashing on screen right now in record time. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the interview, and I will see you guys in the next one.